Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss about the postulates of VBT, valence bond theory for the normal elements. Previously we have done with the VBT for transition elements, right? Now we will discuss about the postulates of VBT. Okay, the first point is about the heading for the first point is about half-filled orbitals. What does it mean? Like for to have a bonding you need to overlap, and for overlapping we need to have half-filled orbitals, right? If two half-filled orbitals are overlapping, they're making a single bond. Like we need two electrons for a single bond, like so each half-filled orbitals, half-filled means in a single orbital, in a subshell of a single orbital we have two electrons, right? And in each subshell we have the capacity of two electrons, right? And if they are half filled means they are having one electron, so the every single orbital should carry one electron to overlap, to get overlap, right? So your orbital should be half filled to get overlap, and to have a bonding, right? And then the next point is about the opposite spin, right? Opposite spin, if we have like two electron in a single subatomic level, right? Then they have the opposite spin. The one is clockwise, the other one is anti-clockwise, right? The two overlapping orbitals must have electrons of opposite spin, right? So that's why the electron with the opposite spin become pair up to get the stability, right? So that's important to have a VBT compound structure, right? Third point is about the strength of bond, and the strength of bond is actually depends on the amount of overlapping, right? Which actually depends on the nature of overlapping orbitals, like we have a sigma or pi, or what kind of a bonding we have. And then secondly we have what kind of orbitals, like we have different kind of orbital, s, p, d, f, right? So it depends on the type of orbital and in the nature of overlapping, right? They are like they are different ways of overlapping. We may have end to end or head to head or a linear overlapping, and the other category is the parallel overlapping, which is called sidewise or side to side overlapping, right? So there are two possible ways to get overlap, so it depends on the overlapping, right? Which type of overlapping they are having. Okay. And if the, yes, the one more thing about the overlapping is that if they overlap more, right, the greater the overlapping, the stronger is the bond, right? So the strength of a bond is dependent on the intensity of overlapping, right? um right. And they get, if we have a larger distance between atoms, then we have less overlapping. So when they get closer to each other, their overlapping is become more, right? But they need to maintain a specific distance because we have a repulsive forces between nucleus of both atoms. Okay. Now the next point is about the direction of bond. Sorry, strength of bond is done. Yes, overlapping of orbital. Yes. Okay. So previously we were also discussing about the overlapping, but in this point we need to consider the overlapping in terms of that when the orbitals get overlapped, they release energy, right? So if we have the more overlapping, the bond will be more strong, right? So it's about the strength of bond, right? So ये ऊपर नीचे हो गया है, पता नहीं, I don't know, but जो भी. So मैंने फोर्थ पॉइंट मैंने पहले एक्सप्लेन कर दिया. नाउ आई एम एक्सप्लेनिंग द थर्ड पॉइंट, राइट? Okay, so it's about the strength of bond. And so if we have more overlapping, the bond will be more strong and it will release more energy, right? As the atoms get closer to each other, they are releasing energy. Okay, so by the overlapping, so energy is released by overlapping. And one more thing, complete overlapping of orbital is not possible because we have a repulsive forces, right? So the strength of bond is actually depend on the intensity of level of overlapping. Okay, now the next point is about the direction of bond, right? The bond direction is determined by the direction of two overlapping orbitals, right? So whatever they are directed towards, we accordingly we can define that that particular direction is present in this structure, right? So the direction of bond is actually determined by the direction of overlapping orbitals. Okay. Now the next point is about 6 point is the number of bonds. The number of covalent bonds, by the overlapping of half-filled orbitals, we're having covalent bonding, right? In this VBT theory. Okay, so the number of covalent bonds formed uh, by the overlapping of atoms is equals to the number of half-filled orbitals in the valence shell of an atom, right? So jitne half-filled orbitals hai, accordingly we have number of bonds, right? If we have two half-filled orbitals in a single valence shell of any atom, then we will end up with the two covalent bonds, right, with somebody else, with the other partner, right? Okay, now the seventh point is about the type of bonds, right? Covalent bonds or molecular orbitals, they are basically two types, right? And depending upon the type of overlapping, actually, so we have sigma or maybe pi bonds, right? So it could be sigma or pi, right? The first bond which is formed is always a sigma bond. Then after sigma, this every time the second bond is pi bond, and the third bond is also a pi bond. So the only sigma bond is the first bond. If the two partners is having just two bonds, just a single bond, then that must be a sigma bond, right? But if they're having the two bonds, like I can explain here. So whenever the two partners are making bonding, like A and B are having a bond, right? So the single bond is always a sigma bond, right? The sigma bond ko we can present like this, right? But if A and B are having double bond, right, this first bond is a sigma bond and the second one is the pi bond. But in the case of a triple bonding, like if we have triple bond, then the first bond is always a sigma bond, the second and the third one is always pi bonds, right? So this is for sure, right? And the sigma bond is formed by the linear overlapping, like let me explain. By linear overlapping, they overlap like this, right? Sigma bond by the overlapping of s orbitals, right? And while in case of a parallel overlapping, which is happening in pi bonds, right, you need to consider the p orbital. So the shape of p orbital is like this, and the shape of s orbital is like in a spherical way, right? So such kind of overlapping is parallel overlapping, right? So this is a linear overlapping, the circular one is a linear overlapping, and this is the parallel overlapping, right? And it is also called end to end or head to end overlapping, and this is called side to side or sideways or a parallel overlapping. The strength of end to end or head to head on a linear overlapping is always more than the parallel overlapping, because there are very few part of the orbitals they get overlap, while in case of a spherical one, like yes, so there's a major portion of the orbital they get overlap. So accordingly we can define the strength, because we have more overlapping, so the strength of a sigma bond is higher than the strength of a pi bond. Hopefully this is clear. This is all about the postulates of